On today's show, if D'Angelo Russell is the Mavs' only move, how does the roster shake out now? And LeBron James to Dallas? Talk about that and more on today's Locked On Mavs. Stop it! Stop! The number one pick will go to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg will fly in Dallas.
Dogs, all of us, all five.
You are Locked On Mavs. Great, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave you.
Your team every day.
I'm gonna get a city like that.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Dallas Mavericks for 10 years. Thanks for being an everydayer, making Locked On Mavs your first listen. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins at FanDuel.com. And joining me, as always, my co-host, media member, covering the Mavs for 10 years, right alongside me, the Aiton adjective, the one more thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
We're recording this at 10:20 Central Time. We're on the eve of free agency. It's exciting times. I will say it's exciting times now, but if you go back through the years of on the eve of free agency, the different feelings that we had going in of what meeting is going to happen. I vividly remember getting updates on Hassan Whiteside, Mark Cuban,
Mike Conley.
Like those days, I mean, we're like a day or two out from like Nick Batum posting the airplane, the flight ticket of like going to Dallas. We're we're like, oh my gosh, is he coming here? And
listening to Danny Green's podcast.
Oh my gosh, yes, Danny Green podcast. Go further back to the Dwight Howard, Chris Paul days. I mean, he's just so many broken hearts over the years, but we have Cooper Flagg and
hey guys, this regime is different than that one.
Yeah, there's different vision.
Very different vision, and it sounds like people are starting to come on board with the vision.
Because when you have that bold of a vision, fortune favors it.
We're just having some fun on here. Today, we'll talk about the Dallas Mavericks and free agency. We'll give you a little preview. We want to talk about Collin Sexton and that move because that was an interesting trade. We had talked about Collin Sexton as a Mavs target. I don't
know if I want to talk about that trade. That was dumb.
Very weird. We'll talk about it. And also, LeBron James picks up his player option. A little different than what people thought. So we'll get into that, other free agency thoughts. But let's start here, Isaac Harris. You and I both did bonus episodes over the weekend about D'Angelo Russell. We believe that D'Angelo Russell is the free agent that the Mavericks are going to get with this tax mid-level. Mark Stein said the Mavericks continue to be described by rival teams as the overwhelming favorite to sign D'Angelo Russell away from Brooklyn to be their starting point guard, while Kyrie Irving continues his rehabilitation from the torn ACL. There's been so many different words that have been said. Mavs are the leading suitor, overwhelming favorite. It just seems like they're down the road. And honestly, D'Angelo Russell fits what the Mavs want in that spot. You talked about why they should do it. I talked about why it's a good move, but it's not enough for what the Mavs want to do. And now if the Mavs make this happen, how does the roster start to shape out? Because I think you start to look at it, and it looks like this right now. If we go into the season, D'Angelo Russell starts. I think from what we learned at the press conference, I think Cooper Flagg and PJ Washington start, Anthony Davis and Dereck Lively start, and I think you start with that massive front line, and you put the ball in Cooper Flagg's hands. I think
cool graphic, bro.
One of the things about D'Angelo Russell is that he can catch and shoot pretty well, and so that's something that is additive to the Mavericks too. They add another shooter, but I kind of like that starting five. I may switch Klay and PJ just for some more shooting, but I see where they're going with this.
You see the vision. When it comes to D'Angelo Russell, obviously we both posted pods and we were both for it. And I think there's definitely a lot of people who feel differently about D'Angelo Russell. I have historically felt different about D'Angelo Russell.
Are we shills? Are we shills now that we were both anti D'Angelo Russell? Then as soon as it's like the Mavs are interested, we're like, yeah, let's do it.
No, because I was all out on Christian Wood the moment they got him. So, it's not just like you come to the Mavs and, hey, we're all about it. It's just, for me, it comes down to what D'Angelo Russell is good at. And for the price, I think is better than what any of the other options you have out there and their strengths. Like you can go down through and it's like, all right, what's your other options? Like Schroeder's probably going to go to Sacramento, like a lot of people are saying. Chris Paul, I would still pick Chris Paul over D'Angelo Russell, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen either. So Malcolm Brogdon, like Malcolm Brogdon. He's 32 and a half. Like, what's the strengths that he has that is stronger than D'Lo's shooting and playmaking, his passing? I don't think it's as strong. So then you start going down through there, and it's like Trey Jones, like
Bring
Westbrook.
back Dante Exum.
Yeah, bringing back Exum, which you could still do, like Dinwiddie or D'Lo. And it's like, I just think D'Angelo Russell is a better player than Spencer Dinwiddie. So I'd just rather do that. And it's like the Westbrook thing. You're going to say something.
No, I was about to bring up Westbrook.
No, it's with Westbrook. It's like I get what you get. Well, kind of, you don't know what you're getting in Westbrook, but
he doesn't
like,
know. He doesn't know what you're getting.
For some of the stuff with like D'Angelo Russell and like the effort and locked in and all of that you question at times, you don't have to question that with Westbrook. But I just think D'Lo's shooting and passing is so much more important than the hustle and effort that Russ brings. And I think Russ, I think he can get into the paint probably easier, but still, I don't know. If I'm picking between those two, I'm taking D'Angelo Russell.
I would take the shooting. The defense is tough. That's going to be a thing that is going to be interesting. And I get there are some detractors from my thought of starting Russell and Klay Thompson together. And you're like, all right, I don't know about the defense of that backcourt. But I think that the front line of the Mavs is going to have to make up for a lot. But I would take the shooting with D'Angelo Russell over the driving of Russell Westbrook and just the erraticism. But you're also getting some erraticness from D'Angelo Russell too, with some decision-making issues, things like that. But the defense will be an issue. My thing has been this whole time is you're getting him. He's going to be your starting point guard, and you're going to rely on him 30 minutes a game for like 50 games. And then when Kyrie comes back, there's going to be a lot on him. And there was going to be a lot on him anyway. And unless they make some kind of other big move, they bring in a Kobe White or they make a bigger trade for somebody else. Unless they do that, then you're going to have to rely on Kyrie a ton anyway, right? It's all, and a chance for a potential title is going to depend on Kyrie Irving coming back to 100% and Anthony Davis being a top 10 player in the NBA and healthy next year. Like, that's what it's going to hinge on anyway. And Cooper Flagg being like a fringe all-star type player. That's what a title would hinge on. Those three things. And that's going to matter whether they get another guard or not. But if they do get another guard, it would make all those things a little easier.
Yeah, and I get it too. Like when you use this exception, you're looking at like it's a multi-year deal, right? Like you got to do multiple years. You can't do a 1 year deal on that. But I'm still willing at that price. Like and sorry, you were gonna say something.
Oh, I'm just breathing over here.
You opened your mouth and I was like, all right. This is one of our first pods we ever done together. So but regarding the defense though, like Kyrie's a better defender than D'Angelo Russell, but they're already going to have to account for that anyway. Like Kyrie's going to be the weakest link in the defense. So it's not like, hey, you're replacing a super, I don't know. It's not like you're replacing Dyson Daniels in the starting lineup with D'Angelo Russell, and you're like, I don't know how this is going to work. Like Kyrie's going to come back and still be the weakest link too. So I think we're overthinking it just a little bit with D'Lo and his talent, and for the price, I just think it's fine. And all the connections too. We'll see what happens with Dudley and stuff, but like Anthony Davis, he had a good time playing with him. There's obviously Jason Kidd. There's other guys like Kyrie and stuff. So I'm not as worried about it as I thought I would be. I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest.
Yeah, our friend Andy Kamenetsky of Locked On Lakers said that he and Anthony Davis had great chemistry. And maybe that's the thing that unlocks Anthony Davis's offense a little bit. We've been kind of wondering about that all offseason, going, all right, well, if the Mavs don't have like real guards to go into the season and you have Anthony Davis, what does his offense look like? Is it just Anthony Davis isolations and post up all the time? Because that's not a super efficient way to run an offense either. And we know you're going to get some playmaking from Cooper Flagg. You know you're going to get some playmaking from Brandon Williams and from some of the wings and the lively short rolls and things like that. But you do need somebody to help set him up. And we've been asking that ever since the trade happened. And now
D'Lo's an incredible passer. I think that's going to surprise some Mavs fans. I think they're thinking about this, the slow-mo, crafty lefty, shooter, finisher, and stuff like that, which he's good at. It's the passing that I think is going to surprise some people how good he is.
Not a great finisher. That's like
I meant like just the craftiness. Like he's not like a Westbrook, I'm going to dunk on you type of dude. When he does finish over people, it's going to be that crafty stuff.
Our friend CBA Mavs said like it could be a 2-year deal, but the second year likely a player option. And so you're like, okay, well, that's essentially a 1+1. And then
I think you got to at least go 2 years on it.
You do, yeah. So when they announce it and it's a 2-year deal, don't be surprised by that. Coming up, I was surprised by the Collin Sexton trade. Why did that happen? What happened? And why didn't the Mavs get in on it? I know. We'll talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by FanDuel, unless you're Malik Beasley. FanDuel is there for you when you need to put some money down on sports and you've got something that you know for sure is a hit. You know exactly what you're going to get. And if you put down that $5 on somebody that you know is exactly going to hit, then you can get $150 in bonus bets right now. They've got MVP odds right now. Jokic plus 220 to win the MVP this year. SGA plus 260. Our old friend Luka Doncic plus 750, Giannis plus 1,000, Anthony Edwards plus 1,300, Victor Wembanyama plus 1,300, Brunson. I'm looking down. Don't tell me Anthony Davis is okay. Here we go. Anthony Davis plus 7,000. Interesting. Put down $100 on Anthony Davis to win MVP. If he does, you win $7,000. Odds are not that bad actually. Now that I look at it. So go check it out. FanDuel, all kinds of great stuff on there. Not just NBA. They have WNBA with our red hot Dallas Wings. Won 5 out of their last 8. Loving the Dallas Wings right now. Great stuff on there. And again, if you put down your first $5 bet and you win that, you get $150 in bonus bets. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Please gamble responsibly.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners, listening every single day on Apple, Spotify, the YouTube Music, wherever you want to listen to our show. Take us with you. Take us with you all through the summer because we'll be doing shows all throughout free agency and all throughout Summer League as well. I'm getting hyped about Summer League. I'm imagining a Ryan Nembhard up to Cooper Flagg alley-oop, but I'm just getting a little excited about it. We also have our text line, 214-643-8637. We will be sending all kinds of updates. Every rumor that we ever read, hear, or see, we will send right to your phone. We'll text it to you with our thoughts. We go to that before we go to Twitter. So we'll send all the updates. If you don't want to sit around on Twitter, subscribe to that. And you get a couple weeks free. And then after that, it helps support the show. So subscribe to that. The Locked On Mavs text line, 214-643-8637. All right, Isaac. Collin Sexton gets traded to the Charlotte Hornets. Feels like that's a match made in heaven. For Nurkic. And the Jazz send a second-round pick to the Hornets. And that's the whole deal.
I took my kids to a park today, and then we left, and I told them we'd get some ice cream. So I took them to get ice cream, and I was sitting there, and the notification went off. And I was like, oh, is this like the first leg of like a bigger deal or something? And then nothing kept on coming. And then it's, I had the second round pick. I was like, oh, he swapped that, it's on Charlotte's, side. He messed that up. No. And I'm like, I get that Collin Sexton, it's not like ever, team was lining up to go get him, but to just salary dump him.
Apparently no one was lining up to go get him. And it's not that, and some people have said salary dump. They're both expiring contracts. And Nurkic actually makes more. He makes like $400,000 more than what Collin Sexton does. So the Hornets are like, the Jazz are taking on money. The Jazz gave a second round pick. They're both expiring contracts. They're just like, maybe they have a deal for Walker Kessler that they know is going to happen. And so then they're like, all right, we're waiting on that.
So they're like, hey, we're going to bring Nurkic in, one of the most annoying players in the entire NBA, to be his mentor. Like,
no, that Walker Kessler's going to leave.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like
to like replace. To like replace him. And so I don't know. This one didn't make any sense.
That would get him the number 1 overall pick, starting Nurkic every game. I hate that. Well, I can't stand that guy. He's one of my least favorite players in the NBA.
It did show me that there obviously wasn't a market for Collin Sexton at all. There was no value there, and the Mavs probably could have just got him for a couple of players that matched his salary. But I don't know. That probably tells me a lot about the player Collin Sexton is, at least what NBA teams think about him, and that made me feel better the Mavs didn't go for him, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was weird, but I mean, cool. It's not. I wasn't like, if the Mavs traded for him, I was like, cool, I get it, but I wasn't like champion for it either.
Yeah,
I'd rather have D'Lo at $5.5 million.
Yeah, cool. It's D'Lo and not having to give anybody up. That's the other thing about signing D'Angelo Russell, just straight up, is you don't have to give anybody up. You're not having to give away a Caleb Martin or a Najee Marshall or a salary. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
It's great. LeBron James opts into his player option, like $53 million today. Little surprise from some people. They thought he'd do another 1+1 and keep it going and keeping him hostage. But then the quote from Rich Paul about, all right, we're reconsidering all of our options and all that seemed a little menacing. A lot of people were reacting to it. To me, I read that and I said, here we go again. This is LeBron James every summer doing his thing, telling the franchise, you got to make a move. We got to win now. You got to make some kind of win now move for me. That it felt like the LeBron James Memorial Annual leverage game play.
I mean, LeBron's always got to be in the narrative game. Like, he loves having that limelight. This is how I kind of picture it going. Somebody called him up like, hey, we're about to work out a signing trade or DeAndre Ayton. We're going to get him to be bought out. We're going to bring him in as starting center. And he's like, hey, well, I'm going to pick up my option then. Trade me. So, because I ain't playing with DeAndre Ayton. No,
oh, you think it was that?
Yeah. No. I'm just kidding. Yeah. The comments were super weird. I even like the past tense from Rich Paul of like,
you're to say the fat shaming. I was like,
no. Just the the Laker, his time that he had with I don't know. It was just how he worded some of it was weird, but I don't know if it were the Cleveland thing that happened, like there's so many hoops that they would have to jump through of dumping salary to like a Utah or a Brooklyn, like a Garland. Like, are you really going to dump Garland and then like they can't aggregate salaries? So it's like
they're a second apron team. They can't trade two players at once, so they could only trade like Mitchell for him, right? And I don't even know if Mitchell makes enough.
Well, no, I mean the move for them, they'd have to get under the second apron to aggregate, and for them to do that, they would have to. This sounds crazy. Salary dump Darius Garland. And it's just like, okay, like you're gonna salary dump Darius Garland,
and to where? Nobody has $39 million in contract space in cap space. Not even the Nets.
I mean, no, the Brooklyn could do it. Yeah, there's a path for Brooklyn to do it.
It's wild.
And heck, I mean, if you're Brooklyn, Garland's gonna be better than any free agent out there you can get.
Oh, and I mean, they love their point guards over there.
Okay, never mind. I forgot about that.
Okay, so the DeAndre Ayton though thing, were you surprised by that? He's getting bought out. Like he's making $36 million this year. He's getting bought out by the Blazers. The Blazers did just draft Hanson Yang with the 16th pick. They have Donovan Clingan from last year too. And so they've invested two first-round picks in center, and then they have Ayton. And so it makes sense that they would move on from him and that he would want to go somewhere else. But
can we clear up the order of Hanson Yang, or is it the other way? It's just like,
well, it's like Ming Yao. It's the way that they do their names.
Okay. I feel like on draft night it was flipped, but on websites and stuff it's the other way, and now I'm like getting confused on it.
Well, didn't Adam Silver say the first pick in the draft is Ming Yao? Didn't he say that? Or did he say Yao Ming?
The Ayton thing, yes. I mean, it's a little surprising, but once again, Ayton is kind of in that same cloth of the Christian Woods, D'Angelo Russells of the world, that you're going to get like at least a big contract every now and then, or I mean at the beginning of your career somewhere. I'm talking like the higher draft picks, really like you have the offensive game, but then like people start figuring out the effort stuff, and some of that intangible stuff just isn't clicking. So for him to get bought out, I mean, I guess he has something lined up, probably the Lakers. Because here's the thing with the Lakers. Lakers clear up that taxpayer mid-level if Dorian goes elsewhere, which Houston has a taxpayer mid-level, so he could go to Houston. Dorian could go to Houston for that, for their taxpayer, and then Ayton could, give up that money and go to LA for that taxpayer mid-level at that point. So,
do you know who Ayton's agent is?
Oh, wow. I think it's somebody I've heard of before. Does it start with a B? Is it
B-I?
Hillary Duffy?
He was maybe recently at a Mavericks versus Lakers game. Bill Duffy. Bill Duffy, who's the same agent as Luka Doncic, is DeAndre Ayton's agent. So we're connecting. Everybody's connecting the dots on this.
Yeah, you want to try to repair DeAndre Ayton's image, have him play with Luka Doncic, and I think
we want to do that. The summer they got Lively, we were talking about DeAndre Ayton a lot.
And that's the thing. It's like when you get to, like I shot out a tweet. It's like, hey, that's why they failed the Mark Williams physical. They had this one in the bag for a while. And it's not about so many people's like in my replies were like, Mark Williams is better than Ayton. Well, you don't have to give up anything for DeAndre Ayton to sign him. Like, it's not like you were giving up, a first and different stuff to get Mark Williams. To get DeAndre Ayton kind of for free. That's a pretty good deal for LA.
People are making fun of Lakers fans on Twitter for wanting D'Angelo Russell. Somebody said you shouldn't wish
D'Lo or DeAndre Ayton?
DeAndre Ayton, sorry. You shouldn't wish DeAndre Ayton anywhere near your team, man. He's bad karma. And this Lakers fan says, Jackson Hayes was my center last year, brother.
Yeah, no, he's definitely an upgrade to anything they've had for a bit. Yes.
That's tough. That's a tough look. Are you thinking LeBron stays in LA 100%? Would you be absolutely shocked if he was on a different team at the end of this offseason?
This dude loves attention. So, I mean, I want to say he just closes this thing out in LA. I think he stays in LA. He does the swan song. Like, we're 100% never getting the LeBron Tim Duncan retirement, right? Like, he just retires out of nowhere. No, LeBron is going to soak up the farewell tour all day long. And let me just go ahead and, do you want to talk about LeBron Dallas in the third segment?
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about it because I just think that he's staying with the Lakers. I think this is his leverage play, and I just don't think that the Mavs would have to literally trade all the things we talked about with Kevin Durant to get LeBron James. They'd have to trade so many contracts. It just doesn't make any sense.
I don't want LeBron in Dallas.
I know you don't. That's because every time I tee you up on a LeBron James topic, I just sit back and let you hate on him for 2 minutes.
I just don't want, like, for all the reasons why people didn't want Kevin Durant, I don't want LeBron. And then LeBron's light is so, like, LeBron is an entity of himself. Like, you bring him into like, do we have to do this to Cooper Flagg's like rookie season?
Imagine what Bronny would do for the Texas Legends. Frisco would be bumping.
Yeah. I feel like Nico is just like dying to do this. Win now mode. See the vision.
Cooper Flagg can learn from LeBron James.
Nico would have traded Cooper for LeBron 48 hours ago.
No, he would not have. Damn, I don't know that anymore.
Go to ad break.
Coming up. Let's talk about what can actually happen in free agency. Where will these players move? DeAndre Ayton, Miles Turner, Jonathan Kuminga, and others. We'll talk about that and more coming.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Isaac, we're talking about free agency. It's tough to talk about the team that you cover when you have no idea what they're capable of anymore. After last season, anything is possible.
Yep.
We can't ever definitively say they won't do a thing ever again.
If LeBron goes anywhere, I think he's going to Golden State, and there's a couple different paths they could do that. But I know people are going to do the Dallas buzz part of it and try to do the connect. It's just like you're gonna really gut your team for that 1 year LeBron and
Isaac. Kyrie recruited LeBron last summer to come to the Mavericks. He was laying the groundwork.
I'm not about it. I don't care. I don't care what people think. I don't want any part of all of that in Cooper Flagg's rookie season.
I have one prayer in life and just one wish that if the Mavs do end up getting LeBron James, that I am with Isaac Harris while it happens, that I can record his reactions.
I thought you were going to say like
LeBron.
I thought you were going to say, like, I can't wait for you to reverse course. And, like, I'm like, buddy, I can't tell you. I will not reverse course.
LeBron hoists the Magic Johnson trophy as the Mavs go to the NBA Finals.
Media day interview is about to get super awkward.
Oh, he wouldn't do ours. 100%. He's skipping all the local news. He's skipping all of us. Oh, man. Yeah,
Bonnie
so... What teams can actually do stuff? Because I think we talk about free agency every year, and there are teams that only have cap space are like the Brooklyn has a ton of cap space. Something will happen with Brooklyn. Maybe not tomorrow, but something will happen. The Pistons have some cap space. I think something will happen with them, but what else do you anticipate happening?
Yeah, I think some of it's going to get, interesting because I think so much of it comes down to, it's weird because of just where the second apron is and everything that you have. Everything's about this taxpayer mid-level for who has it, which is around that 14.7 number. Because there's hardly any like middle class anymore when it comes to like when it comes to the contracts. Like you're either like one of those dudes making 30 plus, or you're like 15 or under. And this is where that tax pyramid level comes in, like what teams have it. So you're looking at like the Atlantas, the Charlottes, the Chicagos, Houston. And I think it's going to be this like competition of like which of these players can like talk these teams into getting that type of money. Like a Dorian Finney-Smith, you see him declining his player option in LA, which is a pretty dang good situation. And they're probably interested in bringing him back. But then Houston's like, hey, can you come be our Dylan Brooks? And we'll give you our taxpayer mid level. And it's like, dang it. That's what's been biting me is this mosquito. I'm like, I've been getting bit by something. I'm like, what the crap is going on right now? But it just flew in front of my monitor. But it's like none of the.
I thought you were talking about I thought you saw a free agency thing happen.
Oh no, sorry. You look at like the Warriors, if like Kuminga signed somewhere, which it's going to probably have to be a signing trade. Like they could open up their taxpayer mid level, but it's a lot of these bad teams. And we'll see. There's just not much action. I think the like more fun part will be the trades. It's the unexpected stuff. It's no one knew DeAndre Ayton was going to be a free agent until now, and that's who's the expiring contract guy out there that goes to his team and says, "Hey, so can I get bought out? And I'll give you
just do that.
I'll give you $15 million back on my deals to let me go sign the taxpayer for this other team." So I think that's the biggest action we can get there.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the trades that happen because there will be something wild that happens. And I wouldn't put Dallas out of the equation to do something that we don't expect. The Mavs do move in silence.
Well, yeah, a couple things. A couple things with Dallas to keep in mind. So if they do sign D'Angelo Russell, they agree. Let's just say it comes out 505, whatever it is. It's like Dallas has agreed to terms with D'Angelo Russell. Well, your roster is pretty much set. All right. So in order to bring back a guy like a Dante Exum, you're going to have to make a move. And this is where like you could get one of those. Dallas is trading Omax Prosper into Atlanta's taxpayer mid-level
or whatever,
the trade exception or like something like that, so to clear up a spot to sign like a Dante Exum type of thing. So it's not like, hey, Dallas is going to have all these roster spots. They're pretty much kind of set. They're set with their two-way guys, so they have a two-way spot open still that they'll probably take the camp and say, hey, fight it out for camp. We've seen different guys. We sent it in our subtext the other day, the guys that's been confirmed so far for Summer League, some other names and stuff out there. But and I'm always going to watch the Gafford contract. I mean, because they did do that deal for a reason. Maybe not with another deal in mind, but just with it opens up the flexibility of keeping that contract around that 54 mark and not going to those 4 years that he is eligible to be traded and stuff. So I'm always going to keep my eye on that one, but I think it's pretty much you're looking at a D-Lo night for Dallas, and I think fans are going to be polarized by that.
They will be. Yeah, they will be.
My
got
son
a zoo over there. You got children. You got bugs.
My son was on the pod yesterday asking if he wanted D'Angelo Russell. He said no.
Your son's entrance at the end of the show yesterday was so funny because it's out of focus because your camera blurs the background, and so he's like he's out of focus. He slowly moves into the foreground.
All right, I gotta go. My she's like legit crying.
All right. Hopefully Isaac's kids are okay. We will be okay doing more shows all throughout the week. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. We'll be back tomorrow with more. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom. He's like running. He's like running away.